One of the first things a person has to do is to reduce exposure of toxins coming into the body. I usually compare this to having a broken screen on the window of your house. You've got two options. You can continue to rigorously clean the house with no end in sight, or you can fix the screen so it no longer lets in all the dirt, dust, and bugs. And if you don't repair the screen, at least shut the window. Reducing exposure involves taking steps towards alleviating the toxic strain that your body is enduring. Remember the toxic four? Let's look at how to reduce exposure from each source. So let's look at air. Remember, the air inside your home can be more toxic than the outdoor air. So there are two things that you can do. You could stay outside, or my recommendation would be to invest in a good quality air purifier for your home. Most particles in the air are 0.3 microns or smaller. So to give you an idea of how small that is, the head of this pen is 2,000 microns. So the toxins getting into your body are over 6,000 times smaller than the head of a pen. So make sure that your air purifier has at the very least the capability of a high efficiency particulate air filter, or as you may know it, a HEPA filter. Now, let's talk about water. Now, because of the many contaminants that can be found in tap water, I would suggest that you get a household water filter, or at the very least, one on each major faucet. There are many different types of water filtration systems, and they are each designed to be effective at filtering specific contaminants. Regardless, the best filters will usually be reverse osmosis or distillation. Remember, we can absorb more through the skin than drinking the water, so do not forget to put a filter on your shower. Now, let's talk about our food. Reducing toxins in your food is just a matter of substitution. Substitute organic for non-organic whenever possible. Substitute whole foods for processed foods. There has always been two barriers to organic: availability and price. But times, they say, are changing. Organic produce and meats are now available in more locations than ever before. And the prices are becoming more and more competitive. Here is a bowl of non-organic produce and exactly the same produce from the same store, but it's organic. Do you know that the price difference for this is less than $2? Well worth your health. The Environmental Working Group determined that these fruits and vegetables are the ones that retain the most pesticides, and they are called the dirty dozen. So at the very least, get these organic if possible. It is also very important to wash all of your fruits and vegetables regardless if they're organic or not. And there are many non-toxic fruit and veggie washes available at your local health food store. So you can afford to buy organic produce, but what about organic meats? Well, many meats are labeled as natural rather than organic, which can be less expensive. Just make sure the meat has no antibiotics, no hormones, and was fed pesticide-free grain or grass. Look at this comparison. Here is conventional and here is natural. Again, less than $2 more for the natural meat, but well worth it. No growth hormones, no antibiotics, and no pesticides. Isn't your health worth $2? When it comes to fish, although promoted as healthier, you need to be careful. There are only a few fish, I feel, that are safe enough to eat. A lot of fish, depending on the state of the water, can be contaminated with mercury, chemicals, and even medications. Most ocean fish are best, especially salmon. When shopping for salmon, I often see grocers advertise farm-raised as a benefit. But to the educated consumer, wild-caught is better than farm-raised. Farm-raised fish are fed pesticide-laden grain. Wild-caught eat whatever nature intended, and they are much more nutritious for you. Eating organic does not mean that you have to give up convenience. Look at these two packaged meals. One is a very well-known brand full of additives, coloring agents, and preservatives. And the other is an organic prepared meal, no additives, no coloring agents, and no preservatives. And guess what? The price on these are exactly the same. I realize that nobody is perfect, and it's hard to eat organic all the time. And I know that because I travel. And when I travel, I'm sometimes forced to eat non-organic and processed foods. The point is, try to do your best and strive to eat the majority of your foods organic and non-processed. Now, I want to ask you a question. How many of you read the labels on your household and personal care products? That's good. Do you know that they can be full of chemicals, heavy metals, and dyes? But there are natural alternatives to many of these toxic products. For example, look at all the products that are on the market to whiten your teeth. Do you know what the active ingredient is in all of these products? Hydrogen peroxide. Why not just use some hydrogen peroxide? It's non-toxic. The teeth whitening companies will hate me for this, but it's cheap. I realize it may not be easy to use such alternatives for many personal products like shampoo and especially cosmetics. However, you need to remember how absorbent your skin is, and you need to take precautions on what you use, but especially on your children. So here is a list of the top 10 ingredients you will definitely want to avoid when buying personal care products. There are many brands of non-toxic personal care products and cosmetics in your local health food store, or you could make your own. Here is a body scrub that I made from salt, almond oil, and lavender, and I love it. The same for household cleaning products. There are many natural, non-toxic alternatives. You can find many of these brands in your local health food store, or again, you could make your own. For example, here's a scrubbing cleaner that I made with baking soda and cornstarch, and a floor cleaner made with vinegar and lemon juice. This is really inexpensive, and it's just as effective as the commercial products. Other things that you can do to reduce your toxic exposure would be choose clothing that does not need to be dry cleaned, because some of the most harmful chemicals are the ones used in dry cleaning. If you have to dry clean, air the clothes outside or in the garage before you wear them. And try to use natural pest control in your yard and home. And there are many yard and home pest control products that are now made from natural, non-toxic ingredients. Remember, reducing toxins from your environment is the first step in the Renew process.